Whew, man, 14. That's how many parts I still have yet to prime that do not include the body of Christina, the Integra. You know the car that I'm talking about right now, and man, look at this. Ooh, retro BodeVision stickers coming soon, boy.
And now, you're watching the tweet that became racist by only reading the second half of it. Channel of YouTube. Welcome to BodeVision.
Hey, so what is up and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me on another video. Like I said, I have all of these parts yet to prime. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 14. And also, I wanted to mention, thank you guys so much for watching that podcast. I want you to go back, if you have not seen it, go check it out. That was the first official episode. Let me know what you think. I put a lot of effort into getting it to where I kind of liked it, to where I could actually feel comfortable to post it. And now, there it is. Go back and check that out if you have not seen it. And thanks so much for all of the support that has already been coming from that. So, I'm not going to take up too much time talking about this stuff. This is just very generic parts everywhere. It's kind of craziness. So I'm just going to go ahead and get these primed and then we'll go from there. So it's the following day now, and this video is going to be like that a lot. It's kind of chaotic. There's a whole bunch of things going on, but as you can see right here, got the lower fender sections, also front side of the hood, underside of the hood, and then also the side skirts right here. The other stuff that I had primed: back bumper, lip, mirrors, little thing over there. Then the other back bumpers behind there. I'm gonna do all that stuff either another time or with the car, but I do know for sure that I'm gonna do this stuff now. And also I'm gonna cut in to the fenders. So the upper parts of the fenders, I wanna paint those while they're on the car, and also the hood, I wanna paint it while it's on the car. So that means I gotta paint this area now. I was thinking about doing the fenders off the car, but for matching sake, I wanna just do everything on the car at the same time to make sure that it's gonna match as good as possible. But the upper fenders, they overlap the lower fenders by about right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do these green off the car, and those will match just fine. There's a whole bunch of separation between both of those, and also the side skirts, those will be fine. So under the hood, lower fenders, side skirts, and inside the fenders, that's gonna go green right now. Exterior pieces, green, round one. We are looking pretty solid. I mean, underneath the hood, that's just whatever. But I mean, these are gonna be outside. A lot of people are gonna look at these, and these look, those look real good. And then this one, and then here. So those are looking really good. Very minimal texture to them. Not quite what you would consider an orange peel, more of a factory texture, not completely flat, but that looks really good. If I wet sand and buff them, it's not going to take much work at all. But for something like the side skirts and something that's like in the wheel well, that lower fender section, it's not worth it. They look excellent, so they're going to be just fine. And now, tomorrow's another day. We're gonna get more done, and I'll see you guys in the morning. Another day, day 3 on this video. And just like that, here we are, another day. So what I want to get focused on right now, since I gave the other miscellaneous pieces some attention, I want to start to focus on the body. Let me get a little bit ahead of the game, and then I'll start talking about what I'm actually doing. So really what I'm doing right here is I'm alternating between these two blocks. I have this one that's a little thicker. I kind of have this in the bigger areas. This one I'm just using on the fender. For example, right in this smaller area, I'm just using that thinner one. And the reason why I'm using this block is because right now I want to go through the entire car with the fine-tooth comb. If I see any dents, now is the time to address them, because after it's cleared, those dents are going to show and it's not going to look good at all. So right now, when the car is primed, a lot of people might think we are almost there, but in reality, this is the part that you want to take the most time on. So I'm going to go ahead and keep working, move on to the other side of the car. If I see any dents, I'm going to have to address them now. And surely enough, I saw a little dent on the back, on the tailgate or the hatch or the trunk, whatever you want to call it on this car. There's a little dent there. Now, even though Zosh, Percy, the man, even though he's getting a new hatch, that little dent is going to bother me if I don't address it now. So I'm going to go ahead, mix up just a little bit of filler, spread it on there. Then after the fact, we're going to work that down. And then I'll put a little bit of primer right on top of that. And then once all of the primer is sanded nice and smooth, you won't ever even know that body filler is above that first layer of primer, below the last layer of primer, because that primer is going to, again, completely hide all of that. Then that base coat, that's going to be the money. Alrighty, so that took no time at all, and that's looking pretty good. Now I'm just going to have to mix up primer one more time. I don't want to do it right now. I want to make sure I'm completely done going over the entire body, because there's going to be other places that might need some primer as well. For example, right here, there is a pretty big chip right there, so I just actually sanded it out, so that's going to need a little more primer. And then also some areas like this, that's inevitable that that's going to be sanded through, so I just gotta prime that again. And speaking of sanding, how I go through this entire process with each grit, well, let me write it down for you. So I'm just going to go ahead and call this sanding post primer. So what I want to do is I want to start off with that block, and then I'm going to start with the 320. And I don't like to do anything lower than the 320 if that's going to be my final primer. If I'm going to do more primer, then I'll go as low as a 220. But I like to start off with that 320, and that's what I did on the entire side. From the 320, then I'm going to move to a 400. And this point, I want to make sure I'm not going to be doing any more primer, because I don't want to move on to my 600 and potentially 800 until the car is completely primed, because this is the final. This is still in the prep area. So once everything is completely primed, once everything is completely done, that's when I move on to my 600s. And I actually like to just use 600 on a DA. If you're going to do it by hand, I would recommend doing an 800 by hand. I have found in the past that 600 on a DA gets just as good as 800 by hand, or 800 by hand is just as good as 600 on the DA. And then I like to use the soft pad on the DA. So that's what I do, and that's how I go about sanding down my primer. Now before we go, I just wanted to show you this out in the sun since it is the next day from when I painted this. Man. And that is looking really solid, really good. I could not be more happy with that, how that came out. And the entire car is gonna come out like that because that's how it's gonna be, because it's gonna be the same exact process. So when it comes time for the car, I cannot wait. Now, unfortunately right now, it's getting a little late in the day. Heat index is 106 degrees right now, and the humidity, don't even think about it. So that's going to be it for this one, you guys. If you didn't check out that podcast, go check that out. That was my most recent video, and there I talk about some new merch that's coming. I actually give you a rundown of exactly what is coming. I'll save that for over there if you want to check it out. And also something else that I can show you, retro BodeVision stickers on the way. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, those are coming. There's going to be some red ones, some white ones, some big ones, some small ones, and that is super hype. Let me know what you think about this process so far. If you had any questions, leave that in the comment section below, and I'm going to go home and get in the air conditioning. So like this video, comment, subscribe, do all the stuff. You know what it is. New merch on the way. YouTube, I'm out.